When an item is returned twice on eBay, you sell an item to somebody, the first person receives it, and for one reason or the other, the person doesn't want the item. See, a few days ago, I sold a docking station to a customer, and customer received it. Everything was fine, but unfortunately, the docking station in this case just didn't work with the device that the buyer was trying to connect it to. For one reason or the other, buyer reached out to me and was telling me that, look, this docking station was not giving the best picture, resolution. So from what I can infer from that, the docking station doesn't work with the device, in this case, an OLED TV properly. And I said, okay, no problem. You can send it back. Even though I was a little bit angry because the docking station in this case was sold for about 39 euros. And yes, I have to bear the cost of return. And automatically, as soon as the buyer return, eBay already gave the buyer a return label, which I have already set up on my account. And the item was sent back to me. No problem. I received it, given that I was fully sure that the item in this case was working. Cleaned it up, went ahead to release it on eBay, and interestingly, somebody else bought the item. I was happy that, okay, even though I wasn't going to profit a lot from this item, but then I can go ahead and send it out and just, minimize my losses from the whole transaction. Everything was good. Item was packed, shipped out on the same day, and the buyer received it. First day, no comment. Second day, no comment. I felt like, okay, this is a transaction that looks like will sit, because if you sell an item to somebody and the person receives it, 2-3 days after delivery, if you do not hear anything from the customer, from the buyer, you can pretty much be sure that, look, everything is okay. But sometimes it takes 1 week or even 2 weeks for a buyer to reach out to you and say, look, the item doesn't meet my need. Anyway, this guy received this item. On the third day, he reached out to me and said he has changed his mind. He didn't really give me any reason why he was returning the item. If he had given me a reason, perhaps he would, just give me an idea what's going on. But buyer simply said, I have just changed my mind. I think I want to send the item back. And automatically, once again, return label was sent to the buyer, and the item is right now, as I speak to you, on its way back to me. And I was just taking a look at the whole transaction. I was so angry. First of all, I went to my eBay shop, deleted the offer. I was like, if this docking station gets to come back again, I'm not going to release it, because I feel like when an item has come back twice, there is no other, indicator that the item doesn't want to move. There are some items, they are just what it is. The item probably has said, there's nothing you do about it. I'm not going to go anywhere. I want to remain here. But unfortunately, I do not have a place for this docking station. I'm going to take it out. I'm just going to give it out for free, or, do something else with it, because I wouldn't want to list it one more time and the item gets sent out, and for one reason or the other, the item comes back to me. See, the item, like I said, is actually in very good working condition. It was something I used before for my HP laptop, and there is absolutely no reason for the item to be coming back because it's defective. That I can easily, rule out from the whole situation. But I just feel like, yes, these things, they are just what they are. Some transactions, they happen very clean, very sweet. Buyer receives the item, goes ahead, leaves you a positive review, and everything is just smooth. But there are some transactions that they just happen to be of difficult transactions. Doesn't matter what you do, you send the item back for one funny reason or the other, the item just wants to come back to you. Yes, when it happens like this, you are not just going to continue to think about it. You won't let it spoil your day, because this is what it is. It's just going to be like there's going to be that one transaction that might want to be difficult, and your job as an entrepreneur is to actually see how you can overcome this kind of difficulties. Difficulties will come in the form of anything, all right? It could be that you have bought a very expensive computer, and for one reason or the other, the PC doesn't work anymore. It could be that you bought, a very expensive item, and you bring it home, you try to clean it, and then you realize that there's let's say a monitor, there is a little mark on the screen. This has actually happened to me before. There was a very expensive, all-in-one PC I sold. I'm just going to leave the picture here so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. An all-in-one PC, decent condition. When I bought it, I was so happy that, look, I had scored a very good one, only for me to bring it home, cleaned it up, attempted to put it on, and I realized that there was a 3 centimeter mark on the screen. I was actually very pissed off. I think I did make a video of this, but I wouldn't know. I did reach out to the supplier and said, look, I didn't really expect this to have happened. Because of that, the supplier actually gave me a very good discount of about 50 euros, a reduction in the price of the item, because this all-in-one piece in itself was very expensive. I did end up selling it for about 490 something euros. I can't remember completely now because it's quite a few months ago. But then, like I said, it was an expensive massive monitor, and it just was so devastating because I just didn't want to make, this loss at the time. But then when I was making the pictures to sell the item, I also made sure I included a picture that was showing, the little defect that was on the screen. And whoever was going to buy it would definitely have seen that picture because I did make that picture the very first picture on eBay. And funny enough, somebody went ahead, bought it, didn't make a noise, and even went ahead and gave me a positive review. There are some very good transactions like that. Sometimes they start on a difficult note, and at the end of the day, they just end up becoming very good and pleasant transactions. Whereas there are some other transactions that just start, everything looks so quiet, like this docking station. I would never have thought that this docking station would be returned to me twice. And this is kind of a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. I'm just going to move on to something more interesting. As a matter of fact, things have sold today, beautiful transactions, well over 430 euros. We're going to go ahead and pack the items. Yes, it's still not where it's supposed to be, even though I see signs that eBay is trying to, come back to what it is. But somehow I feel like something is still not working properly. Hopefully this weekend will be a different experience, because when you have items listed on eBay, the very last thing you want to actually experience is a time of slow sales, because a lot of us depend on the money we make on eBay, to meet our needs, to pay for our rent, to put gas in our cars, to pay for our insurance, to buy materials and all that, So when things are not really, moving as it were, even though we are not super worried because we've been on the platform long enough to just understand that sometimes there's really nothing you can do. All you have to do is just list items and wait until it sells. If you know you've done your best, you have items that people want, and your prices are also not, like terrible, there's pretty much nothing more you can do. If your pictures are on point, your titles are on point, you've got the best description. When you've checked all these points, then it's pretty much a waiting game. And hopefully this weekend, like I said, it's going to be a better experience. Things will sell, because the idea is when we list on eBay, we want the items to sell. Then things are kind of bubbling. We're able to, pack these items. We're going to come here, make videos, tell you guys how things are going, and give you guys a lot of encouragement so that you can also go out and put in the work that you have to put in and get, excellent results. So let me know your experience. Have you ever had an item that was sold on eBay and was returned to you twice? What did you do thereafter? Did you end up selling it? Did you throw it away? Did you give it to somebody else? I'm just interested, to knowing your experience. But then, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I really want to plead with you. Go ahead and be subscribed. A lot of you watch my content, but most of you are still not subscribed to the channel. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and support your boy. Click on the like button, share the video. Until I see you again in the next one, have a beautiful evening.